Hey, what's up, Friday Lead Club? This is Larry, the Robot Maker.
You need to come to one of Larry's classes.
By far is the best presentation.
It was fantastic.
We would come back.
Definitely. Anytime. Tell us the city. We'll be there.
Way over delivered. Mind completely blown with that.
Larry is the king of Facebook Live.
He's awesome at what he does. He's got a great following.
Larry is a SME for social media.
This guy is a social media sensation. When it came to social media, Larry wrote the book.
If you get Larry Lee to market you half as hard as he tries to market me, you're going to make a little bit of money, bro.
Anybody else have a question? If you guys want to watch along, you can leave. Don't worry, I won't get offended. Any questions? Okay, so from my perspective, there's two types of the conversion. And the one that I want to focus on today is the actual verb, okay, of conversion, okay? So basically, most people look at conversion as a noun, right? It's the results. You know, when someone asks me, how well does your marketing or your funnels convert? What they're asking me is, what are the results, right? And to me, that's a great question because you want to know what you're getting if you're going to purchase something, you're going to do something or build something. But that's only a part of the question you should be asking yourself. The question that most people do not ask or think about is, how well do I convert? Or how well does the person ask me the question convert? Meaning, what are they going to do once they get the lead? Okay. See, this is where I believe that most people fail. Okay. And this is the thing. Whenever people ask me about the results of my clients in the funnels I build, I tell them it varies. And they're like, well, what does that mean? It's like, well, some people, they're getting 0 results. Some people are saying like nothing's converted. Nothing has happened yet. And then I have other people that are like, this is the best thing in the world. I have one client, and she's kind of a funny example, but she herself, within 2 months, generated about 300 leads, already has 7 pre-qualifications and 2 of them under contract. Right, so that's literally 7 leads out of 300 that quote quote converted, right? And she still thinks that that's bad. Okay, well that's okay. You know, that's her own opinion. But why is she getting the results when other people who may have converted or may have received more leads, or maybe they have been doing lead generation longer and they haven't converted anything from their marketing efforts? I believe it's because her lead conversion, okay, as the I spelled that wrong. Lead conversion as the verb, okay, is more powerful or stronger than the normal person, okay? The action of lead conversion she has is stronger or better or more aggressive than most people, okay? And this is the thing that, you know, I try not to throw it in a person's face when they ask me, right? But when they say, well, how well does your leads convert? I go, well, it actually depends on the person getting the lead. Okay, and I think that's a very honest and factual answer. Okay, and of course they're like, oh, well, I'm great at conversion, whatever. I'm like, okay, no problem. I understand that, but I'm just letting you know that you can't judge the marketing based on just the system. You have to also judge it based on what's going to happen once the system is doing its job. Okay, so my main point here is that most people focus on the results of passive lead generation, right? That's what most people focus on, okay? And I think that's a huge failure, okay? I think you need to focus on this, but you also need to focus on the actual action of what happens once you get the lead, okay? So this is a very active approach to lead generation. And I'm going to give you a few examples, right? So if you have a funnel or an ad and it's generating a lot of leads and they're being sent to your inbox and you call them and they don't pick up and you dismiss that lead as a bad lead, okay, that's focusing on only the passive part, okay, the results, okay? I got the lead, I called them, they didn't pick up, it's a bad lead, okay? There is literally no action in that scenario, right? You're not putting any effort, any time, and energy. There's no actual strategy behind what happens with the lead. You're just kind of responding to the fact that your lead gen gave you a lead, and then that's it, right? And then you dismiss it as, oh, well, lead generation doesn't work, or this funnel sucks, or this this ad sucks, or the company that sold me these leads sucks, right? And that's why I believe most people fail when it comes to conversion as a whole, okay? The way we set it up, meaning what I do for my clients as well as what I do for my students, is that I actually not only tell them that they need to call these leads, of course, but they also need to have a system, a schedule. We actually employ automated drip programs and responders and such. For example, something that I designed, and I didn't make this name up, but it's called the 10 Days of Pain. But I have my own version of the 10 Days of Pain. But basically, I designed a follow-up system that's automated. Once a lead converts, meaning they give your name or email into your system, I have an automated system that sends them 11 text messages and 4 emails in a 10-day period in order to motivate them to respond. That way, we know that it's a lead that actually gave real information, and hopefully the response is a positive response, meaning they say something like, yes, I'm interested, yes, I do need to talk to somebody, or I do want, or I am interested in what you do, I'm just not available right now. You at least have a conversation starter with the person directly, instead of the information they sent to your Facebook page or your ad or your funnel, right? So that is part of the action, right, that you need to create. But I believe that there's more to the actual lead generation than just turning on the automated system. That is designed to try not to let anything fall through the cracks. Plus, a lot of us are very busy, so we're not able to call a person immediately. So at least we have something going out and getting them connected to our branding and connected to our services and what we offer as a value proposition, right? But of course, there's more action involved. There's the actual physical follow-up. You know, if they respond to your text message, your automated text message, what do you say next? If they give you an objection, what do you give as a rebuttal, right? There's things like that that I believe most people literally neglect, or they're just not trained properly in order to handle what happens with the lead, right? So, I mean, I hear it all the time. I hear how, like, a lot of people, they say, yeah, lead generation doesn't work. I got thousands of leads and haven't converted anything yet. I think to myself, okay, you have 1,000 leads, right? And typically, 1 to 2% of your database is involved in the transaction. In our case, real estate, right, or mortgages, 1 to 2% is involved in some sort of mortgage or real estate transaction. So that's anywhere between 10 to 20 actual clients in your database, right? This is a statistic. This is not made up numbers or we're just guessing. This is actually what has been marketed, tested, analyzed, sample size, whatever, right? And this is kind of normal, or this makes sense to me, because when it comes to lead generation, the conversion rate is 1 to 2%, right? When I used to do door-to-door sales, they always told me about the law of averages. For every 100 doors, you're going to find 10 buyers. When I used to promote parties, the people who produce flyers for parties, because they interacted with a lot of promoters, they said typically the amount of flyers you put out, 10% is what's going to show up. So if you print out 5,000 flyers and you actually push out those 5,000 flyers, you're going to find about 500 people who actually become patrons of your event that you're promoting, right? So it's the law of 10, right? Well, in this case, this is 1 to 2%, so it's even less, right? But the idea is that there is across the board marketing metrics or rules of thumb that dictates these numbers being accurate. Okay, so if you have 1,000 leads in your database, you have 10 to 20 people who are involved in some sort of real estate or mortgage transaction. What are you doing to be in front of those people, right? You can't just call them one time. Okay, you call the lead one time, then I mean you're literally leaving money on the table. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because how many times have you got a phone call and you didn't pick up? And it was something that was important, something that you need to engage with, or something that you need to handle, right? It happens all the time, Okay. And how many times have you ignored a phone call because you didn't recognize the number, or maybe you had an idea or a feeling that it was a marketer or salesperson. Okay. So calling one time is literally asking to be ignored. Okay. So this is why you have to have a very aggressive and very consistent follow-up system. Okay. Not only with your autopilot drip campaign, but also with your manual, or should I say human side of follow-up. Okay. And we're going to address that in the future. But I just want to explain to you that most people probably judge their lead generation on this effort. Okay. And this is very lazy. Okay. Not only is it lazy, but I consider it very stupid. Okay. Because if you think that you're going to build a business when it comes to convincing people to work with you, and all you're going to do is make one phone call and decide that all your marketing and your time and energy spent is based on that one phone call and the experience of that one phone call, then you definitely are in the wrong business. Okay. That's at least my mindset, right? So I'm going to give you a few examples of what we do here at Robots LLC, for me, myself personally, but also with the people that we train. Okay. Not only do we get the lead to, give us information. Okay. But we also have the 10 days of pain. Like I said, it's an autopilot drip campaign, right? 10 days of pain, right? That's number one. We also employ other assets, like we lead the person that opted in to other Facebook assets or other different ways of marketing or capturing information, right? Specifically for us, we send them to groups. Okay. So what I mean by that is once a lead opts in, then we push them to join a group. Okay. We try to get the lead to funnel into a group. Why would we do that? Because a group is also another way to capture information, but at the same time, put people in a bucket that makes them feel safe. Okay. You have to understand, when you do Facebook marketing, these people found us on Facebook, right? They found us on an ad. Okay. Now, if you find a person on Facebook and they found us on Facebook, then there's a likely chance that they are comfortable with Facebook. So therefore, they're willing to interact with other Facebook assets, right? Like a page or like a Facebook group. So these are other assets that we push to our leads. Okay, most people are trying to get them to get on the phone or an email or a text, and that's it. Okay, now you do have a chance of getting these people, these leads here, right? You have a chance of getting these people to answer the phone, answer email, or answer text. But if you don't, at least have a system where you can actually try to re-engage with them again. And this is why we employ the page and the group system. Okay. Now, this is another option for real estate agents. If you have an IDX, like a website that gives information about homes or listings, that's another way to give these people an opportunity to get engaged with your branding or your value proposition. Now, this is not the same platform, Facebook and the Facebook page and group, but it still gives them value immediately, okay? Because right here, there's no value here, right? This is just a response or follow. This is value and this is value, okay? So that's another method or system that we employ. In my own personal lead generation for my clients and my referral partners, I employ all of this, okay? In addition to, okay, another thing that you could consider is chatbots, right? So the actual messenger system that gets people engaged from Facebook into a messenger platform, which is also a Facebook platform, okay? This is the thing about the chatbots. It's considered a follow-up, but it's instantaneous, okay? What I mean by that is when someone opts in information, name, number, email, right? And they end up just kind of waiting for twiddling their thumbs, and then they get a call, text, or email. There's kind of a disconnect, right? Even if it's literally seconds away, there's still a disconnect. It's not like a switch, because what you do is you're migrating them from one environment to another. Okay, but in this situation right here, like these here, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight it so you guys can see. In this scenario right here, okay, in this scenario right here, the person came in on Facebook, right? And they're kept on Facebook here and here, okay? Because if people use Facebook, they're obviously familiar with Messenger, and that's what the chatbots do, okay? They employ a Facebook platform or asset to engage. And one of the cool things about a messenger or chatbot is its instant gratification, okay? So instead of them opting in and waiting for someone to reply back, they're actually just going to the next step of the conversation. They opted in, they said, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing, and boom, someone is already reaching out to them immediately. Now, of course, some people are savvy enough to realize that it's just an automated chatbot system, but if they do engage, because it does ask them questions that motivates them to engage, if they do engage, you as the owner of the chatbot can actually see the conversation happen, right? And if you want to take over as a human, you can, right? And therefore allowing the chatbot to literally tee the lead up for you, okay? So again, this is just a small example of the things that we do here at Robots LLC in our coaching, and as well as the assets we create, so that we can actually actively convert. So one of the books I'm going to reference is called The Conversion Code by Chris Smith. He's actually one of the founders of Curator, okay? And a lot of the principles he teaches, we already employ. But something that he said to me, or he said in the book that was very cool, was the fact that there's actually, here, hold on one second. There's actually three. Not working. Sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, there it is. Okay, there's actually three types of leads. Which like here. Okay, and I don't remember the actual term he called it, but I'm gonna describe it to you. Okay, he calls it like the million bucket or the million group, whatever. Basically, he's referencing the larger audience, the wider audience, right? These are going to be the people that's visited your page, or people that are being shown your ad. These are the people that are literally the cold market, but you're trying to familiarize them with you. Maybe your outside sphere of influence, right? So that's group number one. Group number two, he calls it the chunky middle. He calls these people, or he describes these people as people who are familiar with what it is that you're doing. Maybe they're a prospect, maybe they're shopping, maybe they're in the neighborhood or in the realm of possibility of wanting to work with you or work with someone that does what you do, right? They're not quite closed yet, right? They're kicking tires, but they're kicking tires for a reason, okay? And then he calls the third audience the sweet spot. These are the people that he considers closable. These are the people that he thinks that if you give them the right offer or the right message, they will convert, they will purchase, they will buy, they will apply, whatever it is. Okay. Now, why does he have these three audiences? Okay. And it makes you wonder, okay, why does he have these three audiences? Because he's saying that there's three levels of conversion. Okay. And of course there's going to be more, but these are the ones he's focused on. There's three levels of conversion. Okay. So this conversion right here is actually getting the attention, I would say, right? You're trying to get the attention of these people. You're trying to be on their radar. You're trying to let them know who you are, right? Awareness, right? The chunky middle, okay, I actually consider this brokering trust. Okay, this is what I like to call brokering trust. Okay, these are the people that you are basically selling to them who you are. You're closing them on you, the company, or the salesperson, or the service provider, whatever, right? You are branding yourself so that they can trust you and know you and believe that you are worth considering, Okay, and then of course the sweet spot is actually when you actually close. Okay, when you make the sale. Okay, so why is this important in what we do? Well, if you think about it, if this is true, which I'm pretty sure you can agree that this is true, then why are you focusing your energy on one part of the sales process, right? Why are you focused on this part where the lead goes in to the funnel and it pops out their name, okay, their name, their number, and email, and you call one time, and that's basically how you judge conversion. Think about it, okay? If this is true, right, then how can you determine your marketing or the marketing of others based on just this one thing? It makes zero sense, okay? This is obvious that there's different levels of conversion, different levels of marketing, different levels of converting. He actually calls it, if I'm not mistaken, converting or conversion. Maybe it's conversion marketing. That's what he calls it. Okay. So not only do you have the marketing to get their attention and get awareness, but you're also using marketing or funnels of conversion to brand yourself to broker trust. And then of course the offer. Okay. So there's many levels to the actual concept of conversion. Okay. It can't be just how many leads actually become a closed sale once you call them, right? It takes more than just the one touch, okay? So long story short is there's two types of conversion, okay? There's the actual noun, which is the results. And then there's the verb. Let me clear that out. Which is the action. And I believe most people fail at that. Most people do not employ action. They might actually try, but they don't have a strategy. They're not trained. They don't have the right scripts, or they're not reaching out properly, or they're not reaching out at the right time, or maybe they're using the wrong system. Maybe someone opted in on Messenger and you're trying to get them on the phone, right? There's different variables or variances of the scenario that you're in, but at least consider this part of conversion, okay? Because most people will look at this, and I think that's very wrong. I think that's probably the number one problem with lead generation is people are only focused on how well does it convert, right? How well does it convert? What I think you should focus on is, how well do you convert? Something that Chris Smith said, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap up after this. Something that Chris Smith said in his Audible version of his book, right? And it struck me. He said that he can literally, I think he said he actually can bet, but he didn't say he can guarantee or he can bet that if you were to give him your database, he would find some sales in, right? He basically said, and I took this to heart. I was like, wow. He said, if I had access to your database, the people that are in your inbox, the people that are in your CRMs, in your spreadsheets or whatever, he said that he could probably call those people selling what I sell, and he would convert people. So basically he's telling me that he himself can find deals where I haven't found it yet, right? And that's something that's very striking. That's something that, to me, shows that someone like Chris, who's an expert, obviously, shows that there is a way to convert leads and deals, even if you are working with old or aged or other people's databases or CRMs or leads. Okay, so hopefully you got some value out of that. Of course, if you have any questions, if you want more information, I'm probably going to add something later on to this video, but I just want to give you guys something to think about, and I also want to motivate you as well as entice you